Extricating Young Gussie by P.J. Wodehouse, first published in 1917 in England.
She sprang it on me before breakfast. There, in 7 words, you have a complete character sketch of my Aunt Agatha. I could go on indefinitely about brutality and lack of consideration. I merely say that she routed me out of bed to listen to her painful story somewhere in the small hours. It can't have been 11:30 when Jeeves, my man, woke me out of the dreamless and broke the news. Mrs. Gregson to see you, sir. I thought she must be walking in her sleep, but I crawled out of bed and got into a dressing gown. I knew Aunt Agatha well enough to know that if she had come to see me, she was going to see me. That's the sort of woman she is. She was sitting bolt upright in a chair, staring into space. When I came in, she looked at me in that damn critical way that always makes me feel as if I had gelatine where my spine ought to be. Aunt Agatha is one of those strong-minded women. I should think Queen Elizabeth must have been something like her. She bosses her husband, Spencer Gregson, a battered little chappie on the stock exchange. She bosses my cousin, Gussie Mannering Phipps. She bosses her sister-in-law, Gussie's mother. And worst of all, she bosses me. She has an eye like a man-eating fish, and she has got moral suasion down to a fine point. I dare say there are fellows in the world, men of blood and iron, don't you know, and all that sort of thing, whom she couldn't intimidate. But if you're a chappie like me, fond of a quiet life, you simply curl into a ball when you see her coming and hope for the best. My experience is that when Aunt Agatha wants you to do a thing, you do it, or else you find yourself wondering why those fellows in the olden days made such a fuss when they had trouble with the Spanish Inquisition. "Hello, Aunt Agatha," I said. "Bertie," she said, "you look a sight. You look perfectly dissipated." I was feeling like a badly wrapped brown paper parcel. I'm never at my best in the early morning. I said so. "Early morning? I had breakfast 3 hours ago, and have been walking in the park ever since, trying to compose my thoughts." If I ever breakfasted at 8:30, I should walk on the embankment, trying to end it all in a watery grave. "I'm extremely worried, Bertie. That is why I've come to you." And then I saw she was going to start something, and I bleated weakly.